Out on the plains in the west, strange things have a lot of room to hide. Miles of empty land, wind rolling through the sagebrush, and sometimes stories that refuse to die. For decades, ranchers across the American West have reported one of the strangest phenomena in modern history. Cattle found dead in the fields. But not just dead, mutilated. Eyes missing, tongues removed, organs surgically cut away. And perhaps the strangest detail of all, no blood. Thousands of these cases have been reported since the 1960s, and law enforcement has investigated. The FBI has investigated, and scientists have offered explanations. But even today, nobody has quite solved the mystery. And right in the middle of this phenomenon, during the peak of the cattle mutilation panic in the 1970s, two Wyoming men stepped forward with a story so bizarre that it made national headlines. Both of them had claimed something had taken them. Something not human. One of those men said he was taken from the Wyoming wilderness and transported 163,000 light years away to another planet. The other said strange beings had been interacting with him for years. Their stories are still debated today, because depending on who you ask, they were either abducted by aliens or they encountered something far older, something the Bible might describe a little bit differently. And so tonight on Dead Range, we're diving into the cattle mutilation mystery, and the two Wyoming men who said they were taken by the same entities many believe are behind it. The cattle mutilation mystery exploded across the United States in the late 1960s. One of the earliest famous cases happened in 1967 in Alamosa County, Colorado. This was when a rancher's horse was found dead, with its head and neck stripped of flesh and strange, precise cuts all over its body. And the press quickly spread the story across the country. And then suddenly, ranchers everywhere began reporting similar discoveries. Dead cattle with missing organs, clean surgical incisions, and again, no blood. Over the next decade, reports poured in from Colorado, New Mexico, Texas, Montana, Nebraska, and of course, Wyoming. Thousands of animals, with always the same strange details. Eyes removed, tongue missing, reproductive organs excised, sometimes entire sections of flesh removed altogether. And again, no tracks. No tire marks, no evidence of anything at all. Just a dead animal lying in the grass. Naturally, people started asking questions, and the theories came fast. Some investigators believed scavengers and natural decomposition were to blame. When animals die in the wild, often predators eat the softer tissues first. Eyes, tongues, lips. But ranchers who'd spent their entire lives around livestock didn't really buy that idea. Because predators leave signs, they leave tracks, and they leave blood. They leave torn flesh strewn about around the carcass. And in these cases, it didn't really look like a predator attack. The competing theory is that the government could have been responsible. Some thought secret agencies were testing cattle for disease, chemical contamination, or radiation, and this was all happening during the Cold War. But there was never any proof of that either. And then we get to the most famous theory: aliens. Because during the same period, people in the American West were seeing strange lights in the sky. UFO sightings skyrocketed, and some people claimed something even stranger. They said that they were actually taken. One of those people was Wyoming rancher Pat McGuire. McGuire was exactly the kind of man you'd expect to meet in Wyoming. A cowboy through and through. Raised in wheatland, he was a hard-working guy and quiet, certainly not known for telling stories. And in the 1970s, McGuire ran a 5,000-acre ranch near Bosler, just north of Laramie. Then one day, during a hunting trip with family members, something happened that would change his life forever. According to McGuire, he encountered something in the wilderness, something not quite human. He claimed he was taken aboard a craft by strange beings, and when he returned, the experience had deeply shaken him. Friends and family said he was never really the same after that day, and McGuire wasn't the only Wyoming man telling the story. Only a few years later, another Wyoming man came forward with an even more bizarre account. His name was Carl Higdon, and in October of 1974, Higdon was hunting elk in the Medicine Bow National Forest near Rawlins. It was supposed to be a normal hunting trip, but then something happened. Higdon fired his rifle at an elk, and the bullet stopped midair. According to Higdon, it simply fell, as if gravity had suddenly taken over. And that's when he noticed something else. A figure standing nearby. It was a humanoid figure wearing a black suit. Higdon later said the being communicated with him telepathically. It identified itself as Osso 1. And before Higdon could react, he said he was taken. And according to Higdon's story, he was transported inside a strange craft. Eventually, he arrived somewhere even stranger. Another planet. Higdon claimed the being told him it was 163,000 light years away from Earth. And inside the craft he described, Higdon said he saw animals. Deer, fish, other creatures, and humans. People just like him. Some of them wandering around quietly as if they'd been there for a long time. Higdon said the beings ran tests on him, scanning him with strange devices, examining his body, and then the entity told him something chilling. That he wasn't really what they were looking for. And just like that, they put him back. When Higdon returned, investigators quickly noticed something strange. His truck had somehow moved into a muddy ravine without leaving any tracks. Medical tests also revealed something bizarre. Scars from previous illnesses appeared to have disappeared, and kidney stones that he was battling were all of a sudden gone. So to believers, this was evidence of something extraordinary. Now, if these entities were real, why were they choosing cattle? Some researchers believe that the animals were simply being studied, while others believe they were being harvested for biological material. Even Higdon's alleged captor hinted at something similar. He claimed the beings collected biological samples from Earth animals, fish, and sometimes humans. But that explanation raises the obvious question, why would creatures capable of traveling around the galaxy need to sneak around on ranches cutting organs out of cows? That is, unless they weren't extraterrestrial at all. Now, this is where, to me, this gets a lot darker. Some researchers believe that the reason behind these alien abductions, cattle mutilations, UFO sightings might not be extraterrestrial. It might be spiritual. The Bible warns repeatedly about deceptive entities, beings capable of appearing in different forms, beings capable of manipulating human perception, and capable of giving knowledge or leading people into confusion. And in that framework, what we call aliens might simply be another mask, another deception, something ancient, something that has interacted with humans for thousands of years. Because when you compare alien abduction stories with historical accounts of demonic encounters, the similarities are unsettling. And those similarities include paralysis, voices in the mind, missing time, and encounters that leave people psychologically changed forever. Even today, cattle mutilations still occur. Ranchers still find animals dead under bizarre circumstances. And guess what? Their tongues are removed, their eyes missing, and their blood seemingly drained, with no explanation, no suspects, no tracks, and no answers. Which means the mystery that began more than half a century ago still has not been solved. The American West has always been full of strange stories. Ghost towns, lost mines, legends whispered around campfires. But the cattle mutilation mystery isn't just a story, because the evidence exists. Dead animals, investigations, thousands of cases, and people like Carl Higdon and Pat McGuire who claim they encountered whatever it is behind it. Maybe it's aliens, maybe it's secret government organizations, or maybe the explanation's a whole lot worse. Because if these encounters are not extraterrestrial, the real question becomes far, far more unsettling. What exactly is visiting us, and why have they been interested in our cattle? Thank you for watching Dead Range. We just jumped into one of the weirder modern mysteries that's occurring in the United States, and if you enjoyed the content, feel free to like and subscribe.